Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. There's a buzz rippling through the show, NFL community, and it's getting louder by the day. Von Miller, the legendary linebacker and two-time Super Bowl champion, could be on the move. But not just any move. This time, it's the kind that shifts power balances and sets off sirens of Super Bowl contention. Word on the street is that Miller is seriously eyeing a surprise exit from the Buffalo Bills, and the destination catching fire in league circles is none other than the Washington Commanders. Yes, you heard it right. The Commanders, a team rebuilding. Its identity and hungering for a playoff breakthrough could be closing in on one of the most impactful signings in recent memory. Sources close to the situation hint that discussions are deeper than just exploratory. Miller has reportedly expressed interest in joining a franchise with fresh energy and a revamped front office. Washington, under new leadership and with a young, hungry defense, seems like a perfect fit. While nothing is official yet, the smoke is thick, and where there's smoke, there's usually fire. Could this be the move that not only shakes up the AFC East, but turns the NFC East into a battlefield no one saw coming? Von Miller isn't just another name in the league. He's a game changer, a difference maker, a future Hall of Famer. At 35, some may say his prime is behind him, but anyone who's watched him suit up over the last few seasons knows he's still got that fire, that explosiveness, that leadership every locker room craves. So when whispers started circulating about his discontent in Buffalo and a potential relocation to the nation's capital, the NFL world took notice. The Commanders, often viewed as underdogs, in recent seasons suddenly find themselves at the center of an unexpected media storm. Fans are speculating, analysts are dissecting, and insiders are scrambling for confirmation. What's driving this potential move? It seems to be a mix of timing, opportunity, and belief. Miller reportedly admires the defensive scheme being installed in Washington and sees a unique chance to mentor the next generation of pass rushers. There's also talk of his strong relationship with certain members of the Commanders' coaching staff, which could be a crucial factor in swaying his decision. While nothing has been signed, sealed, or delivered, all signs point to something big brewing behind closed doors, and Washington fans have every reason to dream big. Buffalo, on the other hand, is feeling the pressure. Miller's tenure with the Hig Bills was seen as a final push towards Super Bowl glory, a high-stakes gamble to bring a Lombardi trophy to a city starving for one. His arrival generated massive excitement, and his veteran presence was instrumental in raising the team's defensive play. But injuries, inconsistency, and the brutal reality of playoff football kept that dream just out of reach. Now, with rumors swirling about his potential departure, Bills Mafia is holding its breath. What does this mean for Buffalo's title hopes? Can the team withstand the loss of its emotional and tactical leader? Or does this mark the beginning of a new chapter, one that might require retooling the roster and rethinking their approach? Sources within the organization are staying tight-lipped, but some are already preparing for life without Miller. It's a stark reminder that in the NFL, windows of opportunity are razor-thin, and one player's decision can tip the balance. The thought of losing Miller to a rising NFC threat like the Commanders only adds salt to the wound, especially with both conferences getting tighter and tougher by the season. For the Commanders, this could be the biggest coup of the decade. Think about it, a franchise often caught in the shadows of NFC East giants like the Cowboys and Eagles suddenly making a statement not with words but with action. Von Miller brings more than just sacks. He brings gravitas, his experience in big moments, his locker room presence, his Super Bowl pedigree. They're all priceless assets for a team looking to turn potential into performance. And while Washington has built a promising defensive line anchored by young talents, adding a mentor like Miller could accelerate their growth tenfold. Insiders close to the team have hinted that negotiations are delicate but progressing. The front office reportedly sees Miller as a piece that could stabilize the defense and create a ripple effect across the entire roster. From Chase Young to Jamin Davis, every young commander could benefit from Miller's tutelage. Add to that the possibility of attracting other veterans looking to chase one last ring, and suddenly Washington becomes a legitimate destination. Whether this rumor becomes reality remains to be seen, but the energy in the DMV is shifting, and fans can feel it in the air. Miller himself has remained cryptic, neither confirming nor denying his next move. But those who know him say he's looking for something more than just a paycheck. He wants purpose. He wants legacy. And perhaps most importantly, he wants to be part of a team where his leadership matters just as much as his pass rush. Washington offers that in spades. After years of turbulence, ownership changes, and playoff droughts, the Commanders are finally showing signs of stability. A young quarterback room, a committed coaching staff, and a defense on the rise. All ingredients that could entice a veteran star to take a leap of faith. Social media has been ablaze with fans speculating on Miller's cryptic posts and subtle interactions. Every tweet, every emoji is being dissected like it's a press conference. And while the man himself stays silent, his actions, or lack thereof, are speaking volumes. If the Commanders can seal this deal, it wouldn't just be a player acquisition, it would be a signal to the entire league that Washington is done being overlooked. They're ready to contend, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. From a strategic standpoint, adding Miller could redefine the Commanders' entire defensive approach. Imagine lining him up alongside a fully healthy Chase Young with Jonathan Allen and Darren Payne anchoring the middle. That's a front four capable of wreaking absolute havoc, forcing quarterbacks into mistakes, and giving the offense short fields to work with. Miller's football IQ is off the charts, and his ability to diagnose plays before they unfold could help the Commanders close games they used to lose. More than that, his arrival would inject a swagger and confidence that's been missing in Washington for years. Defensive coordinators would have to game plan for him. Offensive lines would shift protections his way, and that opens the door for everyone else to eat. It's a domino effect, one elite addition that elevates everyone around him. There's also the psychological edge. Opposing teams won't be circling the Commanders as an easy win anymore. With Miller in the fold, Washington becomes a matchup nightmare. It's early days, but if this rumor gains traction and becomes reality, we might be witnessing the beginning of a true defensive renaissance in DC. But let's not forget the business side of things. Any deal involving a name like Von Miller doesn't come cheap. He's still under contract, and maneuvering around the salary cap won't be easy. However, the Commanders are in a relatively healthy financial position. With some smart restructures and possible cuts, they could create enough cap space to make room for Miller without gutting their core. That's where the new leadership in the front office comes in. Analysts have praised Washington's recent moves for being calculated and forward-thinking. They've avoided the splashy, desperate signings of the past and focused instead on building a balanced, competitive roster. Bringing in Miller would be a high-risk, high-reward move, but one that fits the mold of a team on the rise, not just one trying to stay afloat. It's the kind of gamble that pays off big if the locker room buys in and the coaching staff integrates him smoothly. If the Commanders can pull it off without sacrificing future flexibility, they'll have positioned themselves as serious players in the NFC. The window is open, and sometimes you gotta kick the door down. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The ripple effect across the league could be massive. AFC contenders like the Chiefs, Bengals, and of course the Bills would need to reassess their defensive strategies without having to account for Miller. On the NFC side, teams like the Eagles and 49ers, both known for their dominant lines, would now face a rejuvenated Washington squad with playoff aspirations and veteran leadership. Rivalries would intensify, and matchups that once seemed predictable would suddenly become must-watch television. The Commanders, long treated as an afterthought in primetime scheduling, could find themselves front and center. Television networks, sponsors, and fantasy football managers would all take notice. Von Miller changes the calculus. He's not just a player, he's a brand, a leader, a cultural shift. If he lands in Washington, it tells the league that the Commanders are done playing small. They're making a push not just for relevance, but for rings. That kind of ambition sends shockwaves through front offices everywhere, forcing teams to respond. Whether it's by countering with their own big-name signings or recalibrating their expectations, Miller's potential move could set off a chain reaction across the NFL landscape. And then there's the legacy aspect. Miller has already cemented his place among the greats, but what if he could add a third Super Bowl ring? This time with a team that hasn't sniffed championship glory in decades. That kind of story writes itself. From Denver to LA to Buffalo, Miller has always found a way to make his presence felt. Washington could be the final chapter in a legendary career, and what a chapter it would be. Imagine the narrative: the aging vet joins a scrappy, overlooked team and leads them to the promised land. It's the stuff of sports documentaries, of highlight reels, and Hall of Fame speeches. Miller knows what it takes to win. He's done it twice, and he's hungry for more. For a player of his caliber, every decision now is about meaning, impact, and legacy. Washington gives him a chance to not just play, but to matter, to inspire, to lead. The team, the fans, and even the doubters will be watching every snap, every sack, every speech. And in a league where legends are made in January, Miller might just be gearing up for one last unforgettable run. There's also a cultural shift brewing in DC, with a new ownership group and a fan base desperate for something real to believe in. The Commanders are laying the foundation for a new era. And nothing signals change quite like landing a marquee player with championship DNA. Von Miller would be more than just a player. He'd be a symbol of hope, a signal that the old ways are gone and a new vision is taking shape. Fans who've endured years of mediocrity would have reason to cheer, to show up, to believe again. And in today's NFL, momentum isn't just built on wins, it's built on belief. Signing Miller would inject that belief into every corner of the organization. From the locker room to the stands to the front office, everyone would feel the shift. It wouldn't guarantee a Super Bowl, of course, but it would mean that the Commanders are officially in the conversation. And sometimes getting into the conversation is the hardest step. Von Miller and Burgundy and Gold. It's not just a rumor, it's a revolution in the making. So as the NFL world waits for confirmation, one thing is clear: this story isn't going away anytime soon. The idea of Von Miller donning a Commanders jersey has captured the imagination of fans and experts alike. Whether it's a smokescreen, a genuine negotiation, or just a wild possibility, the intrigue is real. And that's the beauty of the NFL offseason. Every rumor has the potential to reshape the league. For now, Washington fans will keep refreshing their feeds, hoping for that one notification that makes it official. Until then, the dream is alive. And what a dream it is. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe. And follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.